I am the first author of the first edition of Family Communication, and I'm just sort of shocked that I'm here today because when I came to work at Northwestern, I was hired to look at teachers in the schools and to begin to train people for public school teaching. And after a while, not too many students went into that area. And so I had to move over to an area called interpersonal communication. And I had gone back to school to get a degree in marriage and family counseling. And I suddenly realized that at the end of my course, I always talked about marriages and families. And that seemed to be the best thing that the students found out of the whole course. So then I started to, do a little more in interpersonal work, kind of half and half. And then finally, it became a full course. And at that point, it became an idea that it should have a book. And so Bernard Brownell at Northeastern Illinois joined me, and we got, started on the book. And it really became very quickly a book that other people wanted, if they taught such a course, or if they didn't do it because they didn't have a book. So we then just kept going in terms of, how it worked. And then Karma Byland kind of came in on the 6th edition because Bernard had retired and wasn't as involved anymore. And then Don Braithwaite came on the 8th edition.
I think the 9th edition.
9th edition, sorry.
It's okay.
And that's been wonderful. And then Paul Schrodt came on this edition, and I learned a lot from what he wrote, actually. Mm-hmm. So it's been a wonderful time for me to just kind of enjoy the end of my term on the book.
Yeah, well, I'm delighted and so honored that Kathleen asked me to work with the book. I'm Dawn O'Braithwaite. I'm in the Department of Communication Studies at the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, and at this point, the department chair. And I studied interpersonal communication at the University of Minnesota, and now have been at Nebraska for 21 years. And we have a very strong family communication program, producing even, fortunately for me, Paul Schrodt.
And I'm Paul Schrodt. I'm currently a professor at Texas Christian University. I'm also serving as the Director of Graduate Studies at TCU. I did my PhD at the University of Nebraska under the mentorship of Don Braithwaite, and also informally under the mentorship of Kathleen Galvin. And so when I was invited to join for the 10th edition, I truly considered it an honor to join this authorship team.
And Kathleen gave us a little bit of the history of the book. It is the first family communication text that came out, and the first edition was 1982. So here we are seeing, actually today for the first time, our 10th edition copy, so we're really delighted. The book is, we've done a lot of updates on the book, which is what you want to do with a new edition. So we've updated our first chapter talking about what is a family and the scope of family. And in that chapter, looking at families as systems, which has really been a hallmark of the book that Kathleen and Bernard did originally. We did a lot of updating on the second chapter on how we look at communication and family communication. And then we have a third chapter on different family communication theories. Some of those theories appear in the first two chapters, and then we cover another group of theories in the third chapter and have a little chart in there, a little table, so people can see where the different theories appear in the book. Chapters 4 through 12 all have the same titles as the past, but we've updated all of the research. And one of the things that we added to the book this time, and actually, Paul, it was your idea, was something called Family Matters. So in every chapter, we feature one study in a little bit more depth that gives some detail about the theme of the chapter. So we're really excited about the 10th edition. I should say the other thing, Kelly Rossetto from Boise State University has done an ancillary. These always used to be in paper, but now it's a website, and it's just chock full of wonderful resources, especially for instructors.
And the audience that we really had in mind when we wrote the 10th edition was undergraduate students. In most communication departments, family communication is typically taught as either a junior level or a senior level course within the major. And so one of the things that Dawn mentioned that we really wanted to do was increase the readability and the accessibility of the 10th edition. And so we have inserted endnotes into the text to help with the ease of reading the textbook. And at least based on the initial feedback that we've received, that has been a very positive change to the 10th edition. Obviously, we also think that there are researchers within the field and instructors and perhaps even counselors and clinicians who would find different sections of the textbook very helpful for them as they teach their own students, and more generally as they just sort of get a better understanding of where the landscape of family communication scholarship is today.
So we're really just delighted to have the 10th edition out.